The 2008 McDonald's All-American Girls Game is filled with players who carved out successful college and pro careers. A few of them didn't quite live up to their potential, but this class is highlighted by at least two likely Hall of Famers. Before we dive in, I want to make one quick note. I'm going to refer to everyone by their maiden name just to keep tracking and searching a bit easier. With that said, let's take a look back at every player from the 2008 McDonald's All-American Girls Game and see what happened. LaSondra Barrett. Barrett comes from a relatively athletic family, as her cousin, Jason Campbell, played quarterback for about a decade in the NFL after impressing at Auburn in college. For her college career, Barrett decided to head to LSU, where she won the SEC Freshman of the Year in 2009 with 11 points, 6 rebounds, and 1 steal a night. She put up similar numbers through her next 3 years, making 3 All-SEC teams. The Mystics picked her 10th overall in the 2012 draft, but it doesn't look like she ever played in a WNBA game. Instead, she spent 3 years playing overseas, making stops in Israel and Australia. After hanging them up, she returned to LSU to work as the Director of Player Personnel. She then started to work as an assistant coach, making several stops around the country. As of the 2026 season, she is an assistant on the Iowa staff. Alyssia Brewer. Brewer started her college career at Tennessee. As a freshman, she averaged 6 points and 4 rebounds, but had a much bigger role as a sophomore, starting about half of her games and upping her numbers to 10 points, 6 rebounds, and 1 block a night. For those efforts, she picked up the SEC 6th Woman of the Year award. Unfortunately, she underwent surgery to repair her Achilles tendon ahead of her junior season, limiting her to 20 games. She then decided to transfer to UCLA. After sitting out a season, she had a solid 2013, putting up 11 points, 8 boards, and 2 assists per game to make the All-Pac-12 team. Brewer did not play in the WNBA, but did spend several years playing overseas. In 2020, she went back to UCLA and spent some time working as an academic mentor. As of 2025, she is working as a clinical rep in California. Ashley Corral. Corral decided to join USC for college ball. After spending her freshman season coming off the bench, the guard became one of the top 3-point shooters in Trojans history. She averaged about 13 points a night over her last 3 years, and still holds the USC record for 3-pointers in a career. Corral made 3 All-Pac-12 teams, and won the State Farm 3-point shooting competition as a senior, but did not play much professionally. Instead, Corral started up a basketball training business after graduating, which she's still running today. Additionally, Corral joined the Seattle Storm as a junior Storm coach, helping connect the team with local youth in her home state. Elena Delle Donne. Delle Donne's father was a 6'6" college athlete, but he played golf, not basketball. Delle Donne struggled with her height growing up, but by the time she was in high school, she was a dominant athlete. In addition to making the McDonald's team, she won the Naismith Prep Player of the Year and the Morgan Wooten Player of the Year as a high school senior. Widely regarded as the number 1 player in this class, Delle Donne was originally planning to play for UConn. However, she decided to stay closer to home. Elena's sister Lizzie was born with cerebral palsy and is blind and deaf. The two are very close, so Elena decided to play college ball at Delaware. However, by that point she was a little burnt out from basketball, so she instead spent a season playing college volleyball. In 2010, she decided to switch back to basketball and was a star from the jump. She put up 27 points, 9 rebounds, and 2 blocks a game as a redshirt freshman to make the 3rd team All-American roster. Delle Donne had a solid start to her sophomore season, but started to feel ill. Eventually, she was diagnosed with Lyme disease and struggled through the rest of the season. She came back to have a dominant end to her college career, averaging about 27 points, 10 rebounds, and 2.5 blocks over her last 2 years, making back-to-back first-team All-American squads and winning the 2013 Honda Sports Award. The Chicago Sky picked her second overall in the 2013 draft. She won the Rookie of the Year while finishing in third for MVP voting with 18 points, 6 rebounds, and 2 blocks per game. Delle Donne spent 3 more seasons with the Sky, making 3 All-Star teams and 2 All-WNBA squads. 2015 was her best season in Chicago, as Delle Donne won the league MVP with 23 points, 8 rebounds, and 2 blocks a night. Her Lyme disease was still periodically flaring up, causing her to miss stretches of games at times, which was especially impactful in 2014 when her time on the court was limited in Chicago's loss in the WNBA Finals. In 2017, she was traded to the Mystics. Delle Donne continued to play well, averaging about 20 points, 7 rebounds, and 1.5 blocks over the next 3 seasons. Her best season in Washington came in 2019. Not only did she pick up her second MVP, but Delle Donne led the Mystics to a title win and became the first woman in basketball history to join the 50-40-90 club. She opted out of the Wubble season because of her pre-existing condition. She came back in 2021 and played well for 3 more years, even making her 7th All-Star appearance in 2023. She decided to take a break in 2024, but ultimately retired in 2025. In addition to her WNBA play, Delle Donne helped the 2016 U.S. team win an Olympic gold medal. As of 2026, she is the director of the U.S.'s 3x3 Olympic basketball program. She is also eligible to join the Hall of Fame in 2026, and it feels like just a matter of time before the 2-time MVP claims her spot. Jasmine Dixon. Dixon started her college career at Rutgers. After 5 games, she decided to transfer back home to UCLA, with her coach simply calling it a, quote, bad fit. She was solid during her first 2 years with the Bruins, putting up around 13 points, 7.5 rebounds, and 2 steals per game. Unfortunately, an Achilles tendon injury kept her out of the entire 2012 season. She came back in 2013, but had taken a slight step back. Dixon then played for several seasons overseas, but mostly dropped off the map in the late 2010s. She seems to be living a normal life as of 2026. Ayana Dunning. First of all, apologies if I mispronounced her first name. I could not find a good source online. Dunning started her college career at LSU. Unfortunately, her minutes dropped during the season, and Dunning decided to transfer, saying she wasn't happy playing for the university. So then, she signed with West Virginia. After sitting out a year, she came off the bench to average 4 points and 4 rebounds a night. She continued to improve over the next 2 years, peaking with 10 points and 6 boards as a senior. Dunning did not play much professionally, instead jumping into a media career in 2013. The next year, she started working as an assistant coach at a community college. She's moved between various coaching and media roles since then, and is working as an athletic director at a community college as of 2026. Ashley Gale. Gale left Las Vegas to play at the University of Texas. With the Longhorns, she became a legendary shot blocker, setting the UT record for most blocks in a season with 117 in 2011. The next year, she finally made the All-Big 12 defensive team, despite seeing her blocks per game take a slight dip. That said, Gale was never much more than a defensive presence and didn't play in the WNBA. She did play a bit overseas, but as of 2026, she is a mental health advocate and runs her own podcast called Black Girls Have Anxiety Too. Briana Gilbreath. Briana's sister, Stephanie, was a McDonald's All-American in 2007 and played collegiately for USC and New Mexico State. The sister's dad was on the track and field team for Arizona, so it wasn't a huge surprise when Gilbreath became a basketball star. She joined her sister at USC, winning the conference's Freshman of the Year award with 10.5 points, 5 rebounds, and nearly 2 steals a night. Gilbreath hovered around those numbers all 4 years of her time with the Trojans, but made her name as an effective perimeter defender, even winning the Pac-12 Defensive Player of the Year in 2010. she made the All Pac-12 team all 4 years of college while averaging 13 points, 6 rebounds, 2 steals, and 1 block across her career. The Mystics picked her in the 3rd round of the 2012 draft. She never actually played for the team because they waived her before the season started. Instead, she spent 2 years playing with the Phoenix Mercury, putting up 5 points and 3 rebounds off the bench. Gilbreath signed with the Sun in 2014, playing in just 6 games, and then played in 3 games with the Fever in 2015. That was the end of her WNBA career, but Gilbreath went overseas to play for a few more seasons in Belgium and Australia. She then started to work as a dietitian and in wellness. The Gilbreath sisters opened their own wellness company in 2015, where Briana seems to spend most of her time. In 2014, she married former NFL wide receiver Bryce Butler, who retired from pro ball in 2018 and now runs a golf YouTube channel. Amber Gray. Gray started her college career at Tennessee. She averaged about 3 points and 2 rebounds that first year, but tragically suffered a brain aneurysm and stroke, which left her temporarily unable to speak or move her limbs. She left the Vols and moved back home to rest and recover. Incredibly, she was cleared to play again by 2011 and joined Xavier. It was slow going at first, but Gray was putting up 11 points and 6 boards a night by her senior year to make the All-A-10 team. She then spent a few years playing overseas before getting into a coaching career. Gray has worked at a few colleges in various positions, but is working as a youth trainer as of 2026. Tiffany Hayes. Hayes left Florida to play for UConn. She was a key contributor from the jump, helping the Huskies win back-to-back titles in 2009 and 2010. Hayes improved her numbers every season, peaking as a senior with 15 points, 6 rebounds, and 2 assists to make the 3rd team All-American roster and win her 2nd All-Big East nod. The Dream then picked her in the 2nd round of the 2012 draft. She made the All-Rookie team with 9 points and 3 rebounds off the bench. By year 3, Hayes had become a starter, putting up 13 points per game and kept improving through 2017. She made her only All-Star team that year with 16 points and 4 rebounds a night, but she was technically even better in 2018 with 17 points and 4 boards. That year she did not make the All-Star team, but was named to the All-WNBA First Team and All-Defensive Team, while even getting votes for MVP and Defensive Player of the Year. After another solid season in 2019, Hayes opted out of the Wubble. She came back to play for 2 more years in Atlanta, but was traded to the Sun in 2023. Tip retired after the season, but came out of retirement to play for the Las Vegas Aces in 2024, winning the WNBA 6th Woman of the Year award. She signed with the Golden State Valkyries in 2025, and in addition to her WNBA play, Hayes has played a ton overseas, most recently spending the 2026 season with Turkey. Destini Hughes. Hughes joined the LSU Tigers for college. She spent 4 years with the team, but was never able to take that step towards stardom. Don't get me wrong, she was a solid player, peaking at 7 points a night as a senior starter, but she did average just 3 points and 2 assists over her career. Hughes worked as a graduate assistant at LSU while earning her master's degree, and then worked as an assistant for a few schools all around the country. As of 2023, she was working as a teacher and girls' high school coach at a private school. Glory Johnson. Johnson was born in Colorado, but played high school ball in Knoxville, Tennessee, so it's probably not a huge surprise to learn that she signed to play with the Vols for college. She was a solid force across her 4-year Tennessee career on the court and in the classroom. Johnson earned her bachelor's in 3 years and wrapped up her master's degree as a senior. She also averaged 12 points, 9 rebounds, and 1.3 steals a night to make 2 All-SEC teams, 1 All-American roster, and win the 2012 SEC Defensive Player of the Year. That same year, the Shock picked Johnson 4th overall. She made the All-Rookie team with 11.5 points, 7 rebounds, and 2 steals a night. She continued to improve over the next 2 seasons, making back-to-back All-Star teams and picking up a second-team All-Defensive nod in 2013. In 2014, she and 2009 McDonald's All-American Brittany Griner announced that they were engaged. It was a kind of tumultuous relationship, as the two were arrested for physically attacking each other in their home in 2015. Still, they were married about a month later, and Johnson announced she was pregnant soon after. She missed the 2015 season giving birth, and the couple split in 2016, but since then they appear to have remained friendly. Johnson then went back to the WNBA for the 2016 season, but was now playing in Dallas. She had 2 solid years before her numbers started to trend down in 2018, thanks in large part to several injuries. Johnson spent 2 more years in the WNBA, but was out of the league by 2020. She continued to play overseas, last playing with Besiktas in 2022. As of 2025, she appears to be back in Knoxville, raising her kids and living a relatively normal life. Shenise Johnson. Johnson left New York to play college ball at Miami. With the Canes, Johnson quickly became a standout player, putting up 13 points, 7 rebounds, and nearly 3 steals a night as a freshman. She only got better from there, averaging 17 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, and 3 steals across her 4-year career. Johnson never took Miami to the promised land, but did make 2 All-American rosters and win the ACC Player of the Year in 2011. That led to the San Antonio Silver Stars picking her 5th overall in the 2012 WNBA draft. Johnson had a solid but unspectacular 9-year career in the WNBA, though she did miss the entire 2018 season with a torn ACL. She averaged about 8 points, 4 rebounds, and 1 steal over her career, but spent most of her time coming off the bench. She did pick up several votes for 6th Woman of the Year in 2016, but could never take that step toward all-star level play. Johnson was out of the WNBA by 2020. She joined Miami's staff soon after as an assistant. She was with the Canes for 3 seasons before joining Penn State as an assistant, where she's still working as of the 2026 season. Lynetta Kizer. Kizer decided to sign with Maryland for college ball, where she won the ACC Freshman of the Year with 11 points, 7 rebounds, 1 steal, and 1 block a game. She continued to hover around those numbers for her next 2 seasons, but during her senior year in 2012, she was moved back to the bench. She still played well, winning the ACC 6th Woman of the Year, but with fewer minutes, she of course had a slight downtick in most of her stats. The Shock picked the 2-time All-ACC player in the 3rd round of the 2012 draft. Kizer carved out a 7-year WNBA career across 5 different franchises, spending time in Tulsa, Phoenix, Indiana, Connecticut, and Minnesota. She was out of the WNBA in 2018, but continued to play for several years overseas. Kizer was still playing pro ball as recently as 2024, but it looks like she has moved into a career as a sports photographer as of 2025. Chelsey Lee. Lee joined Dixon at Rutgers, but struggled to get playing time as a freshman. As a sophomore and junior, she was in the starting lineup, putting up around 7 points, 7 rebounds, and 1 block a night. However, Lee missed the entire 2012 season with injury. Thankfully, she could still redshirt, so she returned in 2013, averaging 6.5 points and 5 rebounds. Lee was not selected in the 2013 draft, but did spend the next several years playing overseas, making stops in Spain, Romania, Korea, and Bulgaria. There was a weird thing in 2016 where she was banned for life in Korea after allegedly forging her birth certificate, but she has mostly disappeared from public eye after spending 2020 playing in Bulgaria. Alicia Manning. Manning was yet another player who signed with Tennessee to play under Pat Summitt. Over her 4-year career, she averaged 4.5 points, 4 rebounds, and 1 steal per game, never becoming much more than a solid presence off the bench and part-time starter. It looks like she didn't play much professionally. Instead, she quickly got involved as a high school coach in Ohio. In 2025, she left her team after 12 years to move back to Georgia to live closer to her parents. It's not clear if she's taken a new coaching job just yet, but she should be back in that field relatively soon. Nneka Ogwumike. The lady they'd eventually start calling Madam President signed with Stanford for college ball. She was solid during her first season with 11 points and 6 rebounds, but broke out as a sophomore to make the second-team All-American roster and win the Pac-12 Player of the Year with 18.5 points, 10 rebounds, and 1 steal a game. She had another second-team All-American season as a junior, but saved her best for last. In 2012, Ogwumike put up 22.5 points, 10.2 rebounds, 1 steal, and 1 block to make the first team All-American roster and win her second Pac-12 Player of the Year. She left the Cardinal as the second leading scorer in school history, just behind Candace Wiggins. The Sparks picked her first overall in the 2012 draft. She was a star from the jump, winning Rookie of the Year with 14 points, 7.5 rebounds, 1.4 steals, and 1 block a night. Madam President made the All-Star team the next 3 years before having her best season in 2016. Playing alongside Candace Parker and Kristi Tolliver, Ogwumike averaged 20 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal, and 1 block to win the MVP and lead the Sparks to a WNBA title. She continued to play well for LA, making 5 more All-Star teams while giving them consistent production for the next 7 seasons. In 2024, she signed with the Seattle Storm. If you were concerned that she might start to fall off as she aged, Madam President made the All-Star team in 24 and 25, showing that her game was aging pretty well. It looks like she might be back for a 15th season whenever it happens, and she has been working as the WNBPA president since 2016, hence the nickname. And like Delle Donne, is almost assuredly going to be a Hall of Famer. I'll talk about her younger sister Chiney soon, as she made the 2010 McDonald's team before joining her sister at Stanford. Their 2 other sisters, Erica and Olivia, both played at Pepperdine and Rice before pursuing medical careers. Brooklyn Pope. Pope also chose to start her college career at Rutgers. However, she had a disappointing freshman season and decided to transfer closer to home and play at Baylor. After sitting out a season, Pope proved to be a solid contributor for the Bears, averaging 8 points and 5.5 rebounds a night, and helped Baylor win a national title in 2012. The Sky picked her in the 3rd round of the 2013 draft, but she did not make the final roster. Instead, she went overseas to play for several years in France and Turkey before hanging them up in 2016. It looks like she might have gone to Baylor Law School, but her LinkedIn profile that includes that claim doesn't have anything pointing toward her practicing law, so I'm inclined to believe that that's not true. Either way, she's mostly been out of the public eye since 2017. Samantha Prahalis. Prahalis first popped up on the nation's radar when she appeared on Rosie O'Donnell's talk show as a star youth football player, but she quickly took to basketball. Prahalis decided to join Ohio State for college and was instantly a top player, putting up 10 points, 2 steals, and a Big Ten leading 6 assists per game to win the Big Ten Freshman of the Year. She led the conference in assists all 4 years of her college career, while bringing her scoring up to 20 points a night as a senior to make the second-team All-American roster. That year, she also picked up the Big Ten Player of the Year award, and then the Mercury picked her 6th overall in the draft. Prahalis made the all-rookie team with 12 points, 4.5 assists, and nearly 2 steals a night. However, her WNBA career dropped off relatively quickly after that, so Prahalis went overseas to play for a few seasons. She then started coaching high school ball for several years. In 2021, she jumped to the college level and was with St. John's in 2025. However, she has left that job and seems to be looking for her next step as of 2026. Chay Shegog. Shegog was born in San Diego, but her family moved to Hawaii for several years before settling in Virginia. There, she became a national name before deciding to sign with North Carolina. Shegog was named to the ACC All-Freshman team with 7 points, 4 rebounds, and 1 block a game. She continued to improve over the next few years, peaking as a senior with 16 points, 7 rebounds, and 2 blocks a night to make the 2012 All-ACC roster. The Sun picked her in the second round of that year's draft. She played in 3 games that year and then spent a year overseas before becoming a teacher and coach. As of 2026, she is back in Virginia coaching youth basketball. Nikki Speed. Speed also played at Rutgers. She was never a star, but was solid over her 4-year career as a depth option and part-time starter, putting up 3 points and 2 assists a night. It does not look like she played professionally, but you might know her better as Nikki Jordan. See, in the mid-2010s, she married Saints defensive end Cameron Jordan. The 8-time Pro Bowler has 132 sacks, and the couple have 3 children. Cam has gone on record to say that Nikki has beaten him in basketball twice, though he claims they've played one-on-one about 100 times. In addition to raising her young family, Nikki works as an entrepreneur with an eye for the fashion industry. Shekinna Stricklen. Strick is yet another player who joined Tennessee for college. She was named the National Freshman of the Year with 13 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, and 2 blocks a night. And she didn't really slow down over the next few years, putting up similar numbers across her 4-year career with the Vols. That said, despite not really improving her numbers, she did pick up some more hardware, making back-to-back third-team All-Americans in 2011 and 2012, and winning the 2011 SEC Player of the Year award. The Storm picked Strick second overall in the 2012 draft. She mostly came off the bench as a rookie, putting up 8 points and 4 rebounds. Stricklen was a starter for the next season, upping her points per game to 10 a night. However, she went back to the bench in 2014 and signed with the Sun in 2015. She continued to come off the bench for her first 2 years in Connecticut before earning a starting role in 2017. She kept putting up solid numbers for 3 more years, even winning the 2019 3-point contest. After that season, Stricklen joined the Dream for 2 years, wrapping up her WNBA career in 2021. Almost immediately, she moved back to Arkansas to work as a high school coach and teacher. She's still working in that field as of 2026. April Sykes. Surprise, surprise, Sykes signed with Rutgers for college. It really seems like everybody in this class was picking between them and Tennessee. Sykes took a few years to get going, but when she became a starter in 2011, she put up 14 points, 4 rebounds, and 1 steal to make the All-Big East team. Her scoring dipped slightly as a senior, but she still made a second-team All-Big East roster. The Sparks picked her in the 3rd round of the 2012 draft. In her lone WNBA season, Sykes averaged 3 points and 1 rebound a game. In the years since, she's stuck with the game as a trainer and coach. As of 2026, she's working as a trainer in Atlanta. Sheila White. White went to North Carolina for college. She carved out a solid 4-year career, averaging 6 points and 2 assists per game, while starting 40 of her 132 games. It looks like she played overseas for a few seasons before going back to school to earn her master's in counseling. She's since picked up a second master's in public administration and is working in social services as of 2026. And that wraps up all of the players on the 2008 McDonald's All-American Girls team. I'll be back in a few weeks with the 2009 version, but for now, why don't you check out this video of Maya Moore and the 2007 McDonald's All-Americans.